what's up, everybody? It's Purpose Driven Live Sports, and I'm back here for another sports video, NBA video in particular, just being specific. And tonight we got two NBA matchups. We have the Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz. Houston is the home team in this game, and Warriors versus Clippers. Warriors are the home team in this game tonight. So let's go. Let's break down the Jazz and the Jazz and the Rockets. I'm so sorry, my mistake. Jazz and Rockets. Come on. Anyway, so I think this is going to be a very competitive game. I believe last game was actually really competitive until Donovan Mitchell just woke up like Jesus or something and just decided to start knocking down threes and get his own shot. And I mean Jesus as in Steph Curry. Just letting you guys know. That's Jesus. Anyway, yeah, it was really fun. That game I really enjoyed. I was actually doing the dishes while I was watching that game. So, of course, I was splashing water sometimes when I saw Donovan Mitchell just sinking shots, just killing the Houston Rockets by himself. They did miss 14 straight threes, one at the end of the third, and then 13 going into the fourth quarter. So this is my thing with Houston. They are a team that lives or dies by the three, mostly because over 50% of their shots, 51% to be specifically, come from the three-point line behind it. They either get threes or layups, or they're getting to the free throw line. They don't shoot mid-range shots, which is smart. Even though I think if your offense, as in Golden State, is diverse, you have a better chance of winning games and winning playoff series. But they don't shoot that because they don't like the turnout of a mid-range shot. It's actually a lower percentage shot, is what I heard nowadays, than a layup or a three-pointer is. And then it's easier to get shots at the free throw line because it's closer to the basket, of course. So they're a team that gets very streaky. And while people in the media like to talk about them as contenders, I tend to pump the brakes for this reason. They shot 0 for 27. They missed 27 straight threes in the Warriors Game 7 last year. So they're a very streaky team. I like them as a team because they really score efficiently because they only score in those three areas. And their defense has gotten better throughout the course of the year. They were actually the number one defense at the end of the regular season going into the playoffs. So they're a really good team. They're deep. They have a better bench than they did last year. They are a better team than they are last year. That's just what it is. But they are a streaky team that tends to miss a lot of three-pointers, even though they take a lot. If you play the percentages, if you take more, you're going to make more. That doesn't mean you need to take about 50. You know, that's kind of crazy, but that's their system, and it's worked for them so far, so they got to continue what they're doing. For the Jazz, that game was huge confidence for them, and what I don't like, but I know it's what people are going to say, is that this series is over, and it looked like the Rockets were just kind of going to let them slide. Well, the Jazz, you never want to give a team that's down any ounce of confidence, or you never want to show an opponent light at the end of a tunnel. You don't want to do that. Because what that does is you open up a certain amount of, it just gives them confidence. That's all I'm going to say. Because winning a tough game like that, they played Houston tough and they played them physical the last two games. And to win a game like this, to come and just show out in the fourth quarter, just to lay it on the line, play with some heart, like Jay Crowder said, who had an excellent game. He had 19 points. He was the main reason why Houston did not run away with this game when they started knocking down threes. Because Donovan Mitchell was struggling through the first three quarters again. Last game, he had a great first half. Then in the second half, he shut down. First three quarters of the last game, I believe he had 19 points. He ended up with 31, but his play in the fourth quarter was spectacular. No way, he had 12 in the... Wow, he had 12 to three quarters. Jesus. But this team showed heart. And like I've said, if you play Houston physical and you're not going to let them shoot their threes easily, you're going to contest their shots, you're going to contest their layups, and you make sure you play... They're playing James Harden's left side, his left hand, actually pretty good. I don't like that. I don't like how you play defense on James Harden that way, but if it's working for them, which it is to a certain extent, you got to keep playing it. And they're playing it very well. They're playing physical. I think it's working. And to me, if they keep doing this, they're scrappy enough to where they can Now, a team hasn't won a game 7 when they're down 3-0, but I'm not going to count this team out. My prediction is I said I'm not going to count this team out. I kind of sound like a hypocrite by saying Houston's probably going to win this game, which I believe they will because home court advantage for Houston is huge. Well, I mean, I don't know. Utah Jazz could pull this out. I don't know. I'm not going to discount anything now after what I saw from the last game. I thought they would win Game 3. They didn't. But they did the exact same thing in Game 3 that they did in Game 4. And to me, if they do what they did in Game 4, we don't know what could happen. Keep your eye on that. Okay, now the Warriors and Clippers. Finally got a matchup right. Okay. I fully expect the Warriors to win this game. I have no doubts. There's nothing really to be said. I believe Steph Curry will come back and have a great game after he shot 1 for 8 from 3 in Game 4. But then again, I'm not worried. Steph Curry actually, it's weird that he has these kinds of games to me it's every 4 series. So sometimes it's in the finals, which he did in game 3, or it was Game 3 last year in the finals. The year before that, he didn't really struggle in the first year Kevin Durant came there in the playoffs to me. But last year, he got injured. He came in during the Pelican series. He struggled in that series a bit, even though he shot pretty well. In the Houston series at the beginning, because he was recovering, he struggled a little bit. His conditioning looked like it was lacking. Then, as the series waned, Steph Curry got hot. Then in the finals, he played well, except for Game 3. To me, there's always one game in a series, or every 4, like I've said, that Steph Curry is going to have an off game. But then he comes back the next game and has about 30, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, hits about 9 threes. Steph Curry, to me, is really going to be their key tonight. Klay Thompson, to me, is also going to be a guy who's going to probably have another 25. Kevin Durant's going to do his thing. He might even have 25 himself. I think this Warriors team, Game 4 was a boost of confidence. Game 4. Why do I keep saying Game 3? What is wrong with me today? Anyway, Game 4 was a boost of confidence. To play that well when Steph Curry's struggling with those two, because everybody's like, you lose DeMarcus Cousins, you lose a certain amount of offense. And to play that game and to come back when you're down, as the Clippers got hot in the third quarter, and to win by 8, they did a great job of really staying the course and not giving up, because they could have easily just said, they're getting hot, we could pack it in, if they get up by 10, we could pack it in, just wait for Game 5, Game 6, and close it out. No. And now that Houston has to play Game 5 on the same night, Houston doesn't have that advantage of rest. Golden State winning could give them an advantage if the Jazz pull this game out. So I got the Warriors winning, like I said. I don't really have any doubts. I think we're going to see an offensive explosion from Steph Curry. I don't know how many he's going to have. I just think he's going to have over 30. So that's all there is to it. But I thank you guys for listening to this video. This is really fun to break down this stuff. I want to give a quick shout out again to When Boredom Sets In. We did a great broadcast yesterday talking about the NBA playoffs, breaking it down. His channel is When Boredom Sets In on YouTube. It's a great channel. He promotes other YouTubers. He's got great stuff. He's been a great mentor and a great influencer on my content, and it's just really fun having him and talking to him. So thank you guys for listening. This was a great video, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.